Odaigahara is a long, long way from anywhere. It's at least a 2.5-hour drive from the nearest city of any real size, along narrow roads hugging the river and winding up mountains. If you don't have access to a car, it'll take you almost 4 hours from downtown Nara, and there's only 2 buses per day, so be careful you don't miss yours. Despite the inconvenience, Odaigahara is a lovely place for a hike. There are several rocky trails, although some of them are so stark and wild that you need written permission to enter. Its tallest peak, Odaigahara, tops out at almost 1,700 meters in height, beset by bone-chilling winds and surrounded by clouds. On a clear day, you can just make out Mount Fuji, over 250 kilometers away. This was not a clear day. Its most famous point is a sheer cliff, where I saw something I have never seen before: a bunch of people standing in line to see a cliff. I wasn't prepared to wait half an hour to see it myself, but this nearby cliff is also nice. One of Odaigahara's other peaks is covered by jagged dead trees, standing austerely in a field of grass. It makes a person wonder what happened here. The answer is, in short, too many deer happened. Fortunately, there's another tale told about Odaigahara that takes a little more time to get through. By the way, if the name Odaigahara sounds familiar, it's the name of a Fleet Foxes song, a band I've been listening to since they released their first album, Jesus Christ, 12 years ago. As the folktale goes, long, long ago, the villagers of Kamikitayama lived in terror. A giant boar was running rampant through their homes. The beast had even been known to eat people. A passing samurai heard about the menace and decided that he would deal with the man-eating boar. Accompanied by his faithful dog, he followed the boar's hoofprints up into the mountains of Odaigahara. He tracked his quarry up and down hills and through narrow gullies. After the hunter lost sight of the tracks, the dog picked up the animal's scent, but eventually the hound was also left clueless. The samurai scanned the area, searching for any sign of his quarry. A cold breeze blew across the mountains, rustling the grass. But it wasn't just the grass that was rustling. The samurai turned to see the fearsome beast standing before him. It was almost as tall as a man, and its back was covered in dry yellow grass. Snarling, it charged at him. Taken by surprise, the samurai only just barely managed to hoist his rifle and fire a bullet into the beast's side. The monster veered off course, missing the samurai by centimeters. It continued to rage around in circles, but eventually its anger was exhausted, and the man-eater collapsed into the grass with a thud. Several days later, and several leagues to the southeast, a ragged warrior arrived at an inn. Now, the inn he was checking into was at Yunomine Onsen, but I've already shown off Yunomine Onsen in another video, so let's go back to Odaigahara. The warrior had some particular requests. He wanted a room isolated from the rest of the hotel, understandable in this day and age, and he absolutely did not want to be disturbed. And finally, the warrior growled, "Do not, under any circumstances, come into my room while I'm sleeping." So that night, the proprietor of the hotel did just that. He let himself into the warrior's room, leaving the door open a crack to allow some light in. He couldn't be sure of what he saw in that room, but whatever it was many times larger than a man. The hotel guest rose up on 4 legs, and a single black eye fixed on the hotelier. It was no warrior, but a giant boar, its back covered in yellow grass.
"I warned you not to come into my room,"
the beast intoned.
"Now tell me, where is that samurai's wretched dog and his accursed rifle?"
News of the samurai's victory over the boar had not yet reached Yunomine, so the hotelier had no idea what the beast was talking about. The monster roared at the unhelpful clerk and exited its rented room through the nearest wall. As it hurtled headlong towards the spot where the samurai had shot it dead, its skin sloughed off, leaving only a one-legged demon, the boar's soul. The demon took up residence in Odaigahara, and with the samurai and his dog having long since left town, it attacked the villagers with far more ferocity than the boar ever had. Something had to be done. A wise old woman went up into the mountains and searched among the grass for the bullet which had felled the boar. She left it as an offering at a roadside Jizo statue, and prayed that the boar's reign of terror would come to an end. Her prayers were answered, and the boar's soul was sealed within a rock near the site of its death. There it remains, for 364 days out of every year. But every December 20th, the date the boar was sealed away, its spirit is contractually allowed to run rampant across the slopes of Odaigahara. It's difficult to accurately translate the name of this date in Japanese, but it's something like the 20th of death. Or we could just call it the Purge. It's an especially unlucky day, and hikers are dissuaded from visiting Odaigahara on that date. Buses won't even run on that day, or any other day between November and March, but still, kinda spooky. I don't know how many visitors to Odaigahara know about the story of the man-eating boar. Probably very few. There's no explanatory sign once you reach the clearing, and the large statue of Emperor Jimmu is immediately more appealing than a big rock. But even up here, a mile above sea level, 2 hours into a hike that's 3 hours from civilization, there's a story to be told if you're looking for it.